Good morning. I'm so sorry that I'm not able to be with you today. The beginning of a new unit is a bummer day to miss as a teacher, but I will do my best to make it up to you next class. Um, as you can tell by the journal prompts that I just had you explore, we are clearly going to be talking about argument, and we're going to be looking at argument around topics that are meaningful to you or interesting to you, or topics that you already know something about that you feel strongly about. So, I want to use this time right now to just kind of walk you through what you can expect in terms of reading, where to find your homework. I'm just going to give you a little bit of an overview of what you've got coming. Um, and so I am in modules, and underneath in our quarter 1 module, underneath me, myself, and language, beyond serial, you will find our study guide. This is a good place to start because it's going to have your reading schedule and you'll be able to see kind of the scope of the work. So, the book that we are reading is called Thank You for Arguing. It's by Jay Heinrich. And I have the digital copy for you. I have a PDF for you. You are welcome to go get the physical book. It is the 3rd edition, which was published this summer, July 5th, I believe is when it dropped. So it's not likely that you're going to find copies of it at Half Price Books. I got mine at Barnes & Noble. I think list price is $17.99. You do not have to have a physical book. You will have the PDF available to you in class through Canvas. And honestly, if I were you, I would just download it to save to your Google Chromebook so that you've got it with you at all times, whether you're in Canvas or not. So, your study guide lays out for you kind of what we'll be doing as a whole. Chapters 1 through 17 and chapter 20. You will have study guide questions. So before you worry about how many questions you're going to have to answer for each one, look and see chapter 1 and 2. For example, that is your homework for next class. It's 8 questions between the 2 chapters. On most days, you'll have 2 chapters. Sometimes you'll have 3. And there's 3 days where you'll have 3 chapters. But you are going to respond to the study guide questions after having read the chapter. Please do not skip the reading portion of this. Do not do like a look and find for the answers to the study guide questions. You really need to read them. The study guide questions are more of just kind of major markers as you read through. I'm asking if you would to complete your questions to answer your questions with complete sentences in a different colored text within the document. That will make checking easier for me and will also direct your eyes immediately to key ideas that you will want to navigate around while we're reading. I'm not going to check every question every day, but I am going to check your questions periodically, and you'll earn credit for appropriate answers to those. So if you're not familiar with the outline format of a document, I did want to let you know that I formatted this because it's long and it's obviously going to get longer as you work your way through it. I formatted it to work best in outline. An outline is, if you go to Tools and Document Outline, it takes you can see over here just the different chapters. So as you're reading, towards the end when you're ready to work on chapter 13 study questions, you can just click on chapter 13 and it will take you there. Makes it a little bit easier to navigate through the different sections of the text of the document since it will get to be pretty long. So your reading schedule is listed here for you. Ideally, today we would have begun chapter 1 together, but I'm just going to share with you one portion of the preface, actually, and then you'll have some time today to get to work on reading and taking notes. We'll be working on in-class activities together, and you'll be expected to maintain a portfolio of those activities. so that you can sort of choose your best and submit that for review every 3 or 4 blocks. Okay, so you'll see this will take us down through right before fall break. Okay. All right. The second piece of what I want to show you in the module is the actual text. So there's 2 different ways you can access it. This icon indicates that you can download it. I've linked it as an attachment. And this obviously is an indication that it's a link. So depending on your internet access and where you intend to read this, you can access the text. The document itself is about 350 pages. So the attachment is large. You don't want to download that every single time you go to access the book. So the link may be easier for in-class use. The other advantage of a PDF, though, which is worth mentioning, is that obviously you can do some searching and finding within the PDF that will help you when navigating, through your passages. So again, this is Thank You for Arguing, 3rd edition. I want to share with you, just to begin our time with the text, I want to share with you my heart for why we do this. There's a lot of books on argument. There's a lot of books on rhetoric and analysis. And I really, after reading this book, I really felt strongly about the connection between why I teach, why I love teaching AP language, and what the author's purpose is, what his intent is as he lays that out for us. So I just want to share with you a little bit. I'm going to read to you from the preface of the new edition, the parts that are particularly poignant for me. So J. Heinrich says that when he began writing this book a dozen years ago, his wife thought he was finally getting rhetoric out of his system. Well, not exactly. Since then, rhetoric has become a part of him. He learns more about it every day in Skype-ins with students, lectures at colleges, and consulting. But what becomes more purposeful for him is realizing that this book has been translated into 11 languages. It has become standard reading in high school AP English language classes, just like yours, and is taught in colleges all across the world, actually. But that's not the useful part. I see rhetoric spreading among the brightest young people, and that gives me hope for our deeply troubled society. This is it, this line right here. In an era of fake news, bizarre politics, and groupthink-infested communities and campuses, rhetoric offers a way out, or rather, it shows a way back to the problem-solving conversations that created capitalist democracies in the first place. Ladies and gentlemen, you live in an unprecedented time of information, of access to quote unquote news. And I, as a teacher of young people, believe so strongly that you truly are going to change the world away from this crazy lunatic space that we have come to live in. And instead, I believe that you all are capable of claiming back logic in our world and civility and citizenship. And that comes, ladies and gentlemen, in the form of rhetoric. That comes in the form of appropriate discussion and argument and persuasion that is not intended to be hurtful or condemning, but intended rather to help people have open minds. I believe that your generation, I believe that you are going to be part of the movement that takes back our crazy world from the bizarre politics and the fake news that we have been infested. I can't, his words are the best words. this infested space. So this is it. That's why I use this book, because what he does and the way he does it is so focused on ways that you as students can learn to be better citizens for the world, to create the world to be the better place that you want it to be. I also think it's important to remember that he uses some pop culture references to The Simpsons, to Donald Trump, to contemporary situations that he videos and posts in his website called theargulab.com. So, he kind of sums it up here at the end where he says, rhetoric can help train top debaters. Most of the art has nothing to do with winning. There are as many motivations to argue as there are situations, David says. Many people just need to be heard without judgment. Others need to feel involved, and others feel pressured to fake a confident opinion. And that is where rhetoric comes in. It helps you understand the deeper power of words and the motivations behind them. Effective persuasion requires reading the beliefs and expectations, values, and emotions of your audience. You can do this cynically, or you can use rhetoric to get your point across and even change the world. But often the goal is people, not ideas. Rhetoric can be and often is a destructive force. That alone is reason enough to learn it, if only to inoculate yourselves against its manipulation. But rhetoric also offers the most powerful healing I know. I honestly believe it can save our civilization. I'm with him. I think this will change our civilization. So as you navigate through each chapter, what you will find is some stories. He tells a funny little story about his son and some toothpaste. But then he gives us sort of tips, like tricks, challenges to try, ways to help immediately begin to employ these strategies of rhetoric that he talks about. You'll find definitions for words, which are also included in the glossary at the back of the book. And then he'll sort of put you on alert for situations where you might notice something happening around you. Our chapters aren't long. He, has some little subtitles, and, to open this maybe in DocHub or Cami or Lumen, whatever your document editor is, and take some notes in the margin. Have some ongoing notes on your, in your notebook as you go. But this is really, it's a very conversational book. I think you will find that his voice is as authentic as if he were sitting in the room and lecturing, so to speak, at you about rhetoric. So if you have questions about how to access what is required of you, by all means, shoot me an email or pop in to see me Monday morning. Again, I'm super sorry that I can't be with you today, but make use of this time to get your homework done, do some reading, work on No Red Ink if you want to do that instead, if you just don't want to sit and read right now. And I hope you guys have a super awesome homecoming. Good luck with your float. Good luck with your, have fun at the parade. Good luck in the game. Have fun at the dance. But be smart. Make good choices. Come back and see me next week. Okay. Talk to you later.